Give up the pain and the struggle of manifesting. If you have been finding it exhausting to keep up with all of the rules, all of the regulations of the things that you're supposed to be doing, and all you keep getting is negativity, fears, anxiety overcoming you, and you are wondering, how on earth do I free myself of this? How on earth do I stop this resistance? How on earth do I stop the blockages that are supposedly stalling my manifestation? Got a big secret for you. This is not the route to your desire. The route to your desire is so much simpler than you've been making it out to be. The route to your desire is simply by becoming it. Now you might say to me, how on earth am I supposed to become a millionaire when I'm not? How am I supposed to become the wife when all I've been is rejected? How am I supposed to become the 120-pound fit supermodel-like person when right now I weigh 220 pounds and all of these diets have failed? Well, it's in how you see you for you. So you may have heard things like ignore the 3D. I don't really ever recommend ignoring the 3D because then you feel kind of silly. You feel kind of crazy, almost like you have wishful thinking and this thing isn't going to happen. And it's like you're turning a blind eye to the 3D. So I don't want you to do that. But I do want you to ignore the 3D in the way of setting up the foundation of how you feel about yourself. So the way you feel about yourself is not based on the 3D. You find acceptance in the current moment, the current 3D, knowing it can shift into something better, but you place your identity on the ideal, what you find within your imagination, what you truly want. Thus, you ignore the 3D, informing your self-concept, informing the self-concept of someone who has money, someone who has love, marriage, commitment, someone who has that perfect body, someone who is aesthetically beautiful. Whatever it is you want. You may want all of those things. You may want some of those things. Maybe there's things you want I didn't even mention. Whatever you want is valid. Whatever you want, there is a route to it. You shouldn't ignore, turn a blind eye to the 3D, because I like to consider the 3D as like a step on a staircase. So it's actually important. Because in order to get to the desired result, you have to walk up every single step. So the current 3D is a part of that sequence of steps. So it's very important to find acceptance, to surrender within it. You may have heard the expression, give it over to God. This is one of my favorite expressions because basically it's surrendering your desire. It's surrendering it to a higher source, that God within you. Your higher self, the universe, that divine creativity, source, whatever you want to call it. You are surrendering the process. You continue walking up those steps, finding gratitude for every single lesson learned along the way. And when you do this, it becomes so easy. Like there could be nothing more simple about that. You're just floating along, allowing, learning, growing. There's nothing hard about that. And you form this new identity for you, not because it's going to get you something, not because it's dependent upon having that man propose to you or dependent upon having that pay raise. It's not dependent on any of those things. Those are the added bonuses to you feeling better about you. I can't stress hard enough how much it matters how you feel inside about you. Building confidence. You may think you have nothing to feel confident about. Confidence is a choice. You decide to feel confident. Have you ever seen a person, maybe they're not very good at singing, maybe their voice isn't very good, maybe it cracks at times or they make mistakes, but they sing a song with such a level of confidence and brilliance. It feels like you've just heard the performance of your life because they have such a level of confidence. You may have run into someone who wasn't aesthetically beautiful, but maybe she was able to land like a really hot, successful guy because she had such levels of confidence. We are drawn to confident people. In fact, you might even be watching this video right now because I'm confident about myself. I bet you anything, had I made videos when I wasn't confident, when I wasn't confident, I don't think YouTube was even a thing. But if I were to make videos today and I wasn't confident, I bet it would get no views. Look at all the successful YouTubers you find. A lot of them are overly confident, sometimes act conceited, full of themselves. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go overboard. The point I'm trying to make is that we're drawn to confident people, even people who are conceited. Like we find interest in that. And confidence is just a choice. Like I decided one day that not having confidence was serving me no purpose. And I had nothing to show for it. At the time when I decided to change my confidence level, I did not have a boyfriend to love me. I had unsuccessful relationships at that time. I did not have an income that was worth anything. I was making like $50 a week. This was when I was living with my grandmother. I'm not even sure I was making $50 a week. There was a time in my life where I actually stopped working because my health was so bad. I had severe back problems. And I wasn't working. So I actually think my income was in the negative, and this was about the time that I decided to just develop confidence. I remember I got advice one time. It was when I was trying to become a piano teacher. Now this was along the time where I started working again. I had been waitressing and my health became too poor to continue doing that. And I got this opportunity to teach piano. But the thing is, I didn't feel qualified to do it, even though I had been playing piano for so many years. And I remember I got advice from a friend who told me, it doesn't matter what you say to a child's parent or to a student, as long as you say it with confidence. It doesn't matter. Because I was all worried about saying the wrong thing, about not having the right qualifications, and he basically just flat out said, just do it with confidence, it doesn't matter. And honestly, it was some of the best advice that I ever received, and it was soon after that I just decided to adopt confidence and even overly high levels of confidence, just doing things that I didn't think before I was allowed to do because I didn't have anything to show for it, anything to back it up. But you will never develop things to back it up if you don't first choose that level of confidence. And you can do that about your self-concept. You can absolutely decide to be someone who is loved, who is walking the path of love, who is on the staircase. At the top is the man of your dreams who's going to propose with that 4-carat beautiful diamond ring set in platinum that's going to whisk you away to a fairy tale castle and give you the wedding of your dreams. No, I'm just using an example. I'm using my own example because I want to prove to you that this is possible. Confidence is a choice. It is a decision. You decide to become the person who has that identity. And you don't give up because your situation doesn't change. You don't give up because you suddenly see contrast. Instead, you look with lessons to be learned, things to be gained. You trust the universe, that source within you, is not messing up, is not putting you on the wrong path, is not causing you to manifest incorrectly. You have confidence within you. You have that trust within you, that connection to your inner source of love and light. And you just keep following along this path and you just naturally embody it. You become it. Not through affirmations to suggest you are this thing, but through a feeling within yourself. Because it's how you want to see you. It's who you want to be inside of your head and your mind. Like no one else is there but you. There's no one else in your mind but you. You are the master of your mind, of your kingdom, your inner kingdom. Like no one else is there but you. You might think that there's a bully voice in there that's taking over, that's ruining and spoiling your fun, But when you can befriend that bully and just say, well, maybe you have important things to contribute, they're not very nice at times, but I'm going to listen and heal because clearly you're shouting these things at me because there's parts of me that are broken. That's why I don't like avoiding negative thoughts anymore. You may find in earlier videos where I say to cast out those negative thoughts, but I was coming from a naive standpoint. I wasn't evolved to the place that I am now. You'll never find that in a recent video. I want you to prove to yourself that you can have it all, that you can change your destiny. Destiny is not something that was picked for you. Your destiny is not to be alone. It's not to work a minimum wage job. It's not to always have the good jobs be passed over. Like you're not supposed to have success passed over from you. You are supposed to succeed in your dreams. Like if I ask you right now, what are your dreams? What would be your ideal life if you could pick? You're going to tell me something that's different than what someone else would tell me. If you find in the comments below, people are writing down their idea of their dream life, their perfect slice of heaven, everything's going to be different. Down to where you live, what kind of house you live in, what kind of partner you have, how many children you have, if you have children, pets, what you do for fun, whether you travel or not, or who you see, or what kind of music you listen to. Our idea of perfection is so subjective because we all have a different idea. That's why I always say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's one of the most profound things to really think about. And it applies to all things. Like any movie you watch, it's someone's least favorite movie and it's someone's favorite movie. It's someone's, neutral movie too. Like we all have different likes and dislikes. We all have different ideas of heaven. You're supposed to experience heaven on earth. It's right now. Hell is not granting yourself the ability to have these things because maybe you're struggling to try to manifest perfectly when all you really had to do was listen to your instincts. Because intuitively you know it all. You're relearning it. At your heart, you are abundance, light, love, perfection. And that is why I don't really flip around negative thoughts to positive ones. Instead, I say to heal the negativity and focus on just healing and nurturing yourself, soothing yourself. Because at your default, you're perfection. So if you can heal that negativity, all you're going to fall back on by default is that perfection. Why try to implement that perfection when it's already who you are? It's already in you. All you need to do is heal the part that feels broken or the lack belief or the limitations. And everyone has limitations. Like, I don't think anyone got through childhood without limiting beliefs. It's not your fault. It's not the fault of the people who raised you. They tried their best. They had limiting beliefs, so they gave them to you. And that's just how it happened, People say things like life is hard. You can't always get what you want. And that's even a song. Like, we say things like this. People say it all the time. All men are bad. All men cheat. That's another one. I used to say that for years. All men are... I used to think that men were fickle. That they like you at first and then they tire of you. They get bored of you. And that was just all men. No, it wasn't. It was just what I was being reflected back because that was the belief system within me. I healed that. You can heal these things. It's not a magic trick that I performed. It's not something that I can do for you. I can only give you the advice. And if you can just be still and listen and calmly try to heal these things within you, don't try too hard. Don't get caught up in saying so many affirmations that you forget. You forget that you were just trying to generate a more comforted feeling. Like, all you're really trying to do in manifesting is soothe yourself, feel better inside, disrupt the current rhythm of those lack beliefs. So you can do that in so many different ways. There are so many different ways to get there. And if you listen to your heart, what feels good, try to draw upon those inspirations. And I bet you anything it's the right thing. And if the results don't show up yet in your life, like maybe you start doing that, you're feeling good, you're feeling better, and results still haven't shown up, that's okay. Like, you didn't do something wrong. Don't stop. If you suddenly got a text from the wrong person, you're on the right track. Just keep going. And I don't mean to keep going in a way that feels hard. Let it feel easy. Let it feel fun. Let it feel like you're rediscovering yourself, because you are. Like you're discovering something amazing. You're discovering the magic within you. You're discovering the secret to success, to life. It's what all successful people know and do, whether they realize it or not. Have you ever noticed that like billionaires mostly think like this? Successful people, they all think like this. Oprah thinks like this. They all think like this. Like Google famous people. Jim Carrey's story is a great one. Successful people think like this. And they either did it from an intuitive basis, or they know about law of attraction, law of assumption, manifesting, whatever wording you want to give it. Anyone who has succeeded in life manifested it. It wasn't their destiny. It wasn't because they knew the right people. It wasn't because they were aesthetically beautiful. It was because they drew it in. It was that simple. A simple reflection. That's all it takes. Life around you is a key indicator to where your belief system is. So if something isn't currently working, heal that within you. Don't work to implement the positive belief, because that one will come automatically. That one is you. The rest is the lie. So just work on healing the broken part, and the rest will just take over. Like you don't even need to name your specific desires. They will just be handed to you because your higher self knows that about you. You can name specific things, but you don't have to. You are capable of manifesting anything you put your mind to. I promise. Thank you for joining me today. May all of your dreams come true. If you'd like my personal mentorship, head to dreamlifebyveronica.com. I'm so thrilled to be a part of your manifesting journey. May all of your dreams come true. They were meant for you.